Hello. I'm Michelle. Thank you for watching this video in advance. And in this video, I'm going to be going over how to create automations in Airtable. Right now, I have my core table set up. For example, for this cleaning company operations that I'm building, my core tables are client, job bookings, invoice payments, and employees. And what I'm trying to do, the first scenario that I'm trying to automate is if an employee enters a new booking, manually enters a new booking using the Interface app on this dashboard, it will go straight into the jobs and booking table for that client. And let's say they did not assign a cleaner at the time, they'll leave that option blank. So with the filters that I have set for this table is anything that's any record, any job that it's new will go to this filter of new bookings. And then we'll be able to see all the new records uh, that are recently been booked. Now, I also have some additional filters that filters each new job booking by time of day that the cleaning needs to happen. For example, the new booking weekday is only for cleaning appointments that are due during Monday to Friday, and that actually is going to happen in the morning time. And then I also have the second one, for example, also through Monday through Friday, and the start time is in the evening, right? And then the same thing for the weekend ones. The reason I did that is because each employee has different availability, and I also wanted the automation to be smooth. So I want the automation to know that, hey, if a booking is set to be completed on a weekday in the morning, then only apply it to the employees available during those hours. And so, for example, Sarah and Amanda are both employees. Yes, Sarah is the team lead, and Amanda is one of the cleaning technicians, and they're both set to work from Monday through Friday. And for example, we have Kevin, who's also a cleaning technician, and he works Monday through Thursday, but notice how I have him as in the nighttime, so he would do evening jobs. Good. So that's why I set the automations, well, the views. We're going to use those views in my automation. So let me show you how. So for example, let's get into this automation that I already created. So for this example, the trigger is going to when the record enters a view. That's why I created the views. So the views right now that I'm going to be using is weekday. I've named this first automation is called assign employee WD, which is for weekday booking. So we're going to assign the employee to a weekday booking. Okay, so let's see what the first trigger is. The view is called new booking, just like I said in the previous table. So we're going to choose a record. Right now, we're going to go with John Smith. He is in that view at the very top. He is on the 25th, and it's on Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Great. We're going to go with that first one. And what this trigger is going to do, it's going to collect John's information, meaning his Airtable ID, and we're going to use that throughout the automation process. So now that I have John, I have his Airtable record ID. We're going to use that going forward. Great, and we can all see the field values. Great. So moving on to the next step in the automation, this is to find the employees that are available from Monday through Friday with the job titles within these job titles. So if we go back to the employee table, you notice how I also have another view that filters out any employees with a job title of either cleaning or as a team lead. These are the people that will be completing the jobs. So I could also use a view too, but I think I didn't use a view because I think it became complicated. So I just did a filter. And so Monday through Friday and what are within the job titles. Now, with that being said, I should only get Sarah and Amanda. So let's test that action. So I did in fact get Sarah and Amanda. So they will be assigned to to John Smith's job, okay? Right now, they currently have one job. And so we'll move on. If you look at the records that were found 2 records, and they also collected the field values and the Airtable record ID. Now, this Airtable record ID is different from the one previously because that was regarding John's table, the job table with John's record. Now, this will be for Sarah and Amanda's record. Okay, I'll tell you how this comes in handy in the next process. So we've located a record that needs to be updated, and we've located the information that needs to update it with. So now we'll move on to update the record assigned to the booking. Assign the employee to that booking. So now we're going to assign Amanda and Sarah to John's booking. And so we're going to use the action type of update record. We're going to update the job table, not the employee table. The job table is what needs to be updated because currently John is a new booking, but his cleaner is blank. That's why he's in this filter. So it needs to, this filter is set to, if the client is empty, the cleaner is empty, the status is new, and it's not a weekend, and the start time has to contain AM, which is in the morning. Okay. All right. So we're going to use the record ID of the record to update. So the record ID that needs to be updated is coming from the jobs table from the first trigger. So you could go ahead and select that. You'll click on use data from the first process, which is when a record enters a view. You're going to use the Airtable record ID that ends with GE. If you go back here, we can see that it ends with GE. That's the correct one. And then also, we're going to update that record. And then what we're going to update it with, we're going to update it from the step find records. So if you click on the plus sign at the corner, you'll click on find records. You'll scroll down and you'll also click Airtable ID. It's a list of them because it's more than 2. I mean, it's more than 1. Let's take that out. And so also, in addition to updating the cleaner, this job is no longer new. It just needs to be done. So I'm going to change the status to do because these are all internal statuses for the employees to know where the process of the booking is. So I'm also going to change it from new to do. I'm going to click on that on the drop down to do. And we're going to generate a preview before we run it actually. And so now it shows you a preview of what's going to be updated before it updates a record. So it's more like a testing. So it's going to update the cleaner to Sarah and Amanda. And it's also going to change the status from new to do, which is what we wanted. All right. The next step is, in addition to updating the record, I also want the employees to know that a job booking has been assigned and needs to also be confirmed. And it's also going to be added to their Google Calendar. So right now, I've chosen to create an event in Google Calendar. Right? Create an event. And I probably should put a description. Add to employee calendar. Okay. And you could click on the drop down and choose a calendar to connect your Google account. I already did that. And I'm going to use the due date, which is 3/25, the start time, which is 9 a.m., and also due date again, and the end time, which is 11 a.m. I use functions to grab the start and end time because it was placed in, they actually put them in a booking time. And I used a function a formula, I'm sorry, not a function. Well, the functions are in the formula. You use a couple of functions within the formula to separate the start and end times. I'll show that in another video. And so we did that, and then we also have the service type. So basically service type, what is the service type for this one? There's a standard cleaning. So it's a standard cleaning, John Smith, assigned to Sarah and Amanda, John Smith again, regular cleaning, the start time, and then we'll also add the location. We could also add attendees by also offering to add the employee's email so they could get that update. Right now I have my email because this is just a test. No video conferencing. Guests can invite others. We're not going to allow that. And so this is what it should look like. This is the input, and this is what the output should somehow look like. So we could go ahead and do that right now. We're going to do a test that action. So right now, it has been completed. So let's go ahead and check it out into my Google Calendar. So here's what it looks like. It went ahead and created an event on 3/25 for standard cleaning John Smith assigned to Sarah and Amanda at 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And they put in the information. I'll work on the location. For some reason, I am missing the location, but I'll work on that in another video. It's not working right now for me, but I'll pull it up. So that's it. Really quick, really simple. The next thing we want to do is not only do we add it to the calendar, but we also want to send an email. Let's get an email notification. Okay, so now we are ready to send an email, and that action type is send email, simple send email. And right now I'm on the free version, so in order to send emails to other people, I have to upgrade the version, but this is just for testing purposes. And the description is notification, email, alert to team, letting the team know that a job has been created, a job assigned to Sarah and Amanda, the due date, the same information that we actually put in the Google Calendar. Any additional notes, the address, due date, booking time, service type, the client name, and then we'll also add any attachments. And so let's go ahead and generate a preview. So right now, this is what it will look like. My email is here, and it will send out an email to myself saying, hey, you've been assigned to a cleaning job. Let's actually take a look at that email. Okay, so here's how the email would look on a free version. It'll say Airtable automation, the job assigned, John Smith, the date, you've been assigned to a new cleaning job details, client name, service standard cleaning, date and time, location, and any additional notes. Really quick, really simple. I also like about Airtable automation, it lets you test each step one by one, and also lets you, and if the first step fails, it doesn't really let you go to the next step, and then it just gives these green check marks at the corner letting you know that review the test results, that it was good, and you can move forward. And also like these previews where you can run as config and see the results before you actually go through with the whole promotion. So this one is actually done, and I've tested it a couple times, and so I think it's about perfect, and so I'm just gonna turn it on. Right now I should have one in to do. So let's go ahead and re-trigger these ones. So we could have to see them go into, I'm just going to put them into do and then take them out. I want to re-trigger the automation because once the status is set, it's not going to pick it up because it was off. So we just turned it back on, and so I'm just going to change these to all new and then watch it reflow. So right now, so just remember that we have 5 bookings within the weekday at the morning time. So all weekdays. They don't have any cleaners. John Smith, Latoya, Caleb, James, and John. And I'm going to switch them right now. It's all blank in this one. So I'm going to change them all to new. See how it quickly automated and it picked it up? Because let's do another one. New. Yep. Really quick. New. New. And the automation is just doing its thing. So I'm going to trigger it again one more last time. So it's there, it went away, and here it was updated. We also have these filters in here, last modified. Tells you when it was last modified at 9:29 p.m., which was just now, versus when it was first created, not created by, created date. Yes, so they were created on 3/20 and they were recently updated from the automation. So they all went into, so now the new booking weekday is blank. The to-do view is now updated. So these are all job bookings that needs to be confirmed by the team internally. We could also check the history of the automation. So they all ran at 9:29. Like it said, it was updated at 9:29 based on the modification date. So you could also view that it ran successfully. You could see what was updated, the values of what was updated, what was found. These are also great for error handling. And there you have it, how to create an automation to do multiple flows of triggers using views, using Google to send emails to add to your calendar. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment. Great. Thank you. Have a nice day.